This is very good news from France. Doesn't happen often, but look at what the Hartford Courant via the New York Times reports, that a French minister, he's the education minister, has a message for all of France and in a way all the world. You must not manipulate the French language, whatever the cause, he said. He was expressing support for getting rid of a brand new pronoun. It's the equivalent of he, she. In French, it's il, a combination of il and elle. It is, according to Jean-Michel Blanquet, an expression of wokeism. Gosh, do I wish our officials would be saying that throughout the United States. Some conservatives are, but it just hasn't penetrated yet, has it? Blanquet continued that there's an intellectual matrix in U.S. universities that is bent on undermining a supposedly colorblind French society of equal men and women through the promotion of identity-based victimhood. Gosh, if we had even one official who would recognize that at the federal level, we'd be in so much better shape. At the federal level in France, the prime minister's wife is on the right side. That is Brigitte Macron. There are two pronouns, she declared. Good for her. He and she. Our language is beautiful and two pronouns are appropriate. Well, it's one thing to make up brand new language. It's pretty dastardly to just try to expect everyone else to follow your whims with language. But in the US, it gets worse than that. It's not just manipulating language. It's come to manipulating people's hormones, manipulating their organs, manipulating their ability to give birth, making them sterile for the rest of their lives because of whimsies, often fed by people who do not recognize standards. Thank goodness, Ms. Macron, some of the other officials are recognizing standards. France actually has a very good policy where it is illegal for anyone to compile racial statistics. I like that. Now, this hasn't penetrated to the French graduate students yet, because what Ms. Macron says is very, well, it's more to her than just disconcerting. It's violence. That is the words of Liliane Delhon, a gender non-conforming student of international affairs at the University of Paris. She was referring to the statement and saying, this is violent. This, for me, she said, was very violent. Guess what? If you change the language to call speech violence, what do you do with actual violence? This is the problem with hyperbolic statements that tend to come from the left. You have no room left. They do this with racism too. When they call anything that might disproportionately impact one racial group over another, when they start to call that invidious racism, well, what really is true racism? There's nothing left. So thank goodness for officials like Blanquet. You could be an education minister here in Connecticut as well. I believe you can hold two posts. I hope you will seek it in 2023. I do commend France and make sure and want to make sure that people realize France does have a language that is very patriarchal, but also matriarchal. There are whole classifications. Most Romance languages have this, the male form and the female form. And to people who these days feel offended by this, come on, just look at this as what it really is. From 1,000 years ago, when these languages might have been slowly developed. Okay, back then, patriarchal society. We're not there anymore. You can look at the division of words, female and male, as a little relic. It is harmless. Please don't turn it into something harmful.